I purchased some stuff and I wanted to show you. That's it. Guys, this is Clémence. I talk about fragrance. Welcome back. The first one is Hermes BARENIA, the perfume in the designer range that I usually got a huge crush on are usually fragrances that are so different. And the last time I had a crush on a designer fragrance, I think it was, I would say, Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. That was really my biggest crush since years and years in the perfume. If you haven't tried this, you need to try. It's a huge gourmand, so it's very sweet, but it smells kind of realistic to me with the lemon pie aspect of it and panna cotta. Still love it, still absolutely love it. Got it for my birthday last year. And this year I'm treating myself with BARENIA. People are all gonna hate it or they're gonna love it. Every time a brand comes with something that is pretty new, that is out of the trend, I'm really happy. This year and last year it was the gourmand, so I had a little bit of a but an olfactory family that is really coming back in trend is the Chypre family. A Chypre fragrance is something that is quite retro, I would say, that smells a bit mysterious, usually very complex and very sophisticated. The first Chypre was in 1917 by François Coty, that released a fragrance called Chypre. And that's why when you're going to smell one of these fragrances, usually it's going to smell a little bit maybe vintage, not always, because now we do modern one, but it smells a bit retro. The composition, how it smells like, it's usually you get a top note, so the first burst of the fragrance is going to be bergamot usually, but it can be a citrus. Middle note, so the heart of the fragrance, that is usually florals, usually it's white floral, and then the base need to include patchouli, or most of the time, and usually that's the really original compositions, is labdanum. Labdanum is a plant that smells leathery, and that's why most of the time when you're going to smell Chypre, it's going to smell leathery and citrus-like. And it's a great contrast because Chypre has this sophistication that makes it very complex, and for me, very not office-like, but it's very bossy. It's very a lot of character, and it suits men or women. You have amazing Chypre in both gender, so for me it's very unisex. The latest one that I've tried was actually by Coty again, that I really love, was Aristo Chypre. That's a great for men, actually, more leatherish-like, for example. But this BARENIA is supposed to be a feminine Chypre. They took really a modern take on the classic composition. You have the bergamot on the top note, but you have something that is called miracle berry, sweet, tangy, and a bit sour, bitter, sour. You know, it can smell like that. You know, nearly like this fizzy bonbon sometimes. In the heart, white ginger lily. It's a flower, white, that is exotic and smells nearly honeyed-like, and you can smell it in that fragrance. But sometimes you can smell green, but on that fragrance I don't think it smells that green. Anyway, and the base, so the trail, what is going to last the longest on your skin, smell like patchouli, akigala wood, signature derived of patchouli, but smell more like, I would say, light and airy than patchouli. Oak, so oak is actually quite something that you can see a lot in classic Chypre as well. The patchouli is not chocolate-like, but it has a lot of density, so it's more like a patchouli that is earthy, wet soil, you know, very fresh. And then suddenly you have the honey-like white flower, creamy, that is zesty, super zesty actually, which is a signature for Hermes. They love to make the fragrance a bit zesty. Straight away I can smell patchouli, huge patchouli. Not a gourmand patchouli, but very dense, quite earthy. And you know, I say very dense because patchouli really gives texture, thickness to a fragrance, and you can smell that here, but it's perfectly balanced with citrus. So for me, it's a perfect, I would like to wear this on a daily basis. I think it's very versatile for all year long, but at the same time, it's got a little bit of a twist. Like for me, it's got an edge, like serious character, a little bit bossy. I don't know why, like it makes me think of like, you know, the CEO type of fragrance. A bit like MICALLEF from Hermes is as well, leverish and citrus-like. This one feels a bit like that to me. A bit more mature. I wouldn't advise that to a 20-year-old girl. I'm in my 30s and I think this is perfect. I just have this level of sophistication but fresh and chic at the same time. This is the magic with Hermes. You can wear that every day, but at the same time it's so elegant. I think a lot of people are going to be like critical with that scent because it's a bit out of trend, but I love it. I really fell in love. The perfumer is Christine Nagel, that is the perfumery director in the house of Hermes that successed Jean-Claude Helena. It's really up and down with the new fragrance she launched. I love Christine Nagel. Huh? For me, she's one of the best perfumers of all time. Huh? But sometimes she does things that, for me, like for example, the H24 Tutti Twilly, I was like, but for example, she did Un Jardin à Citer that has been amazing. Eau de rhubarbe, like, oh my god, masterpiece. Those two masterpieces to me, but anyway. But let's face it, she has a huge brief. When you do design a fragrance, there's not a lot of room for being creative. You definitely have continuity in the scent. Like you can smell it's an Hermes fragrance. It's citrus-like, it's fresh usually, so very elegant, casual chic. The biggest for me release in the design range this year, at least for me. I like a classy fragrance. I like something that makes me think a bit of my retro feel, you know, like for me, anything vintage or retro, I want to smell it. You know, for example, like I shop all my clothes in second hand, you know, and I like to buy also like furniture second hand and stuff like this. I grew up like this, you know, so for me, anything that makes me think of something a bit retro without feeling outdated. Voilà. And the next things I bought, a discovery set from the brand Versatile Paris and Croissant Cafe. So this, I wanted to talk about it because I don't know if you remember, but when I've been to Essence, the fragrance fair this year, I actually had my eyes on Versatile and I saw it was one of the best things I've smelled in the fair this year. These are not really fragrances. Well, it's a composition that is fragrance-like with a pyramid olfactive, but it's a roll-on. It's an extract of fragrance. It's very concentrated. I think it's between 32%, I think, as I remember. So yeah, 32% for this one. Croissant Cafe, that was my favorite. Obviously, that's a classic French apparel. I don't know if you know what French people have for breakfast, but they definitely don't have the usual French breakfast you can see on the menu of a restaurant. Absolutely not. Usually French people, they don't have breakfast, or they have black coffee and then they go to work, or orange juice and then they go to work, and that's it, you know. That's a French breakfast, and a cigarette. Croissant and coffee was really my breakfast and still is my favorite breakfast, you know. So when I saw that, I was like, this is for me. I like coffee fragrance. I really want to have this touch. So this kind of extract, you would apply it on the pulse point. So for example here, like so, you rub them together. You never do that with your fragrance, don't rub, but with an oil, yes, you rub it, you warm the oil, and really they blossom. This is made for it, you know, you can't let it dry. Please don't do this. Just a reminder, the pulse point is where there's a vein, and it's really important because it's gonna warm up the product, and then it's gonna basically blossom, give you more projection, longevity. Usually I like to do it behind the ear as well, or just here, you know, because you should apply fragrance everywhere you want to be kissed. Thank you, Coco Chanel. So when people like, they come to you and they're like, mwah, mwah, how are you? Voila, they can smell. You have a bit the pastry feeling, but it's not a gourmand. It's more focused on the coffee. Tonka rather than vanilla, so it's like toasted vanilla strong smell, but not gourmand, not sweet. Creamy with note of coffee cappuccino, but for me, it really makes me think more like of a black coffee. It's quite strong, it's quite dark, very unisex if you ask me. People have been saying that the projection is not great, but I think I have to remember you that it's a roll-on, and people like roll-on usually are not too keen to have like a fragrance that is projecting. It cannot project the same as a fragrance that's no. You can have like strong oils. I do have strong oils like oud and stuff like this, but those kind of perfume oil with a great composition like this, usually there would be medium longevity. I find on this one, the Croissant Cafe, medium longevity. So I would give it, you know, before reapplying, I would say like a 3 hours, 4 hours. That's pretty light actually, but I really enjoy to have this in my bag. I like this intimate approach. Sometimes, of course, I love my fragrance to project crazy. And by the way, the price is really good for this. I didn't spend a lot of money, so I don't feel, you know, I already see myself like layering it. So I was thinking, for example, to layer it with Liqueur BPM for l'Orchestre because it has this cozy feel, a bit morning-like, and a bit breezy as well, so I think it's going to be great with a lot of gourmand or ambery. You know, you do this and then you apply the fragrance like a cloud around your shoulders and like this. You don't spray it directly on the fragrance because it would be a shame to kill the composition of the oil. But for me, that's really like a crush I had. And actually the discovery set, so I smelled it only once, so I can't do a review of those ones. But if you want, I can do a full review of all the fragrances. The name of some like really kills me. Like there's one that is called Gueule de Bois, which in French means hangover. And it smells like rum. Peppery, ambery, spicy, you know, fonce dalle. If you don't know what is la fonce dalle is like, I don't know how you call it in English, but you've been smoking something illegal. Actually, it's legal somewhere, it depends where, but you know, you've been smoking a bit and you really crave like a huge kebab. For me, that's usually what happens. I don't take this usually, but I've been, you know, like, come on, like, don't judge me. You're really craving something and you're just gonna eat like this and it's gonna be the best thing you ever eat in your life. It's dangerous for your health, be careful. Fonce dalle smells like weed, beer, roast chicken, butter. This is insane. And actually it smells really good, you know. There's one that is very popular that is called God Bless Cola. So it's caramel, gourmand, popcorn and Coca-Cola. And actually this one I think is the most beast of the, for me at least, just applying it like this, it was the strongest of the group. And look what was coming with my purchase as well. I love when brands do these extra little things. I know it's not a lot, but for me I like extra little thing in my package. That makes me happy, especially when you spend some money. There was some, so this is my diary, you know, like this saved my mental health, by the way. Like I put all what I need to do every week on this diary and some thoughts and stuff like this in there. This saved my life, and I put a lot of stickers everywhere. And this is some versatile stickers that are so cute. Croissant. Ah! Small but powerful. See, I'm easily sold. Guys, if you've watched this video until the end, you can type in the comments the words croissant. Voilà. Oh my god, I really fancy a croissant, but the croissant really disappointing in UK. I'm really sorry guys, but I love the UK, but you don't know how to do a croissant. Oh, I want to give a huge super thanks to the latest super thanks. Thank you so much, guys. Like it was on the latest video as well. Wasn't expecting this, so thank you for your support. You don't have to give money, but if you do, know that it's really, really appreciated. Voilà. Have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Bye now.